Welcome to Right on Track, a songwriting podcast. Thanks to Tone for tuning in. I'm Demi Michelle Schwartz, and I'm thrilled you're joining me on my songwriting journey. So kick back and relax, don't fall flat, and remember, stay right on track. Hey everyone, welcome back to Right on Track. I could not be more excited to be joined by a very, very special guest today. She is the founder of the International Singer-Songwriters Association. Please welcome Tamanie Dove. Hey, how are you?
Hey, what's up?
It's lovely to have you. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. The weather's perfect here in Atlanta, and appreciate you having me on today.
Of course. We have so much to chat about. But before we dive into everything to do with the ISSA, can you share with the listeners a little about yourself and your own songwriting journey?
Oh my gosh, my own songwriting journey. I actually didn't know that I could write a decent song until about I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. I just kind of stumbled upon it. I've always been interested in music, mind you, singing in the choir in church and what have you. But I just kind of, picked up a guitar and started playing it and just kind of fooled around with it and wrote a song. And my husband's like, you're pretty good at that. And so I just fell into it. And then believe it or not, my son, my grown son was like, you know what, Mom? It turns out he's a pretty good sound engineer. He's in Nashville, and we just started I kind of fell into it. And my roots are my mom. I grew up in the music biz, so it all just kind of I don't know, it just kind of fell in my lap. And then one thing led to another. I had a dream about starting ISSA. That was a whole another ball of wax, and it just kind of I don't know, it just kind of snowballed into what it is, what you see it as today. And yeah, it just it's kind of a whirlwind kind of. So I wrote one song, and now I'm up to over 100 or so. It's
Oh,
just kind of,
wow.
I
That's
didn't know I had
incredible.
it in me. Yeah. So, it's one of those things you just don't know what you can do until you do it. And then you keep doing it. And then you're like, wow, okay, here we go.
For sure. I think that's really important with anything in life. I feel like if you have a dream to do something or a drive to do something, you never really know what it's like until you try, and you never know for sure what something could mean to you. Like songwriting is super special to me. You never really know what something can bring into your life and open the doors to other things in your life until you actually try it. So taking that leap and recognizing, hey, this fell into my lap, but let's give it a shot. And now look what it's become. It's incredible.
Yeah, so I'm helping all my other friends who were kind of in the same boat that I was when I started, and I didn't know much, and I had all this all this wisdom behind me growing up, and I had all these connections and what have you that helped me. And I'm like, you know what, I can help my other friends out who didn't have the connections that I did, and help them out too. And because they were asking me, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. So yeah, that's kind of where it all came from. And I'm just so glad that I had my hubby's like, you had the forethought to start this and help people by creating this platform to be able to have another level for them to support them.
Yeah.
Because without it, you guys would be just out there in a sea of other artists just like you, trying to fend off the sharks wanting your money and what have you. And it's like, not, we're not about that. So
Yeah. So you said that you had a dream about starting ISSA?
yeah, I did, and it was back in 2018 when I started ISSA. And I'll just make this really brief. But when I was probably, it was before I was like 10 or 11 years old. My mom, grew up. I grew up in the music biz. I was a little kid playing with Barbie dolls backstage at the Opry when Mom was doing all her. She did the taxes and did the CPA comptrolling for a lot of the mega stars at the Opry, the Grand Ole Opry, and on Music Row, and she handled a lot of their money and their banking and their payrolls and all that kind of stuff. She managed Roger Miller and Little Texas is, and grew up with the guys from Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show, and Randy Travis, and just tons and tons of mega stars, Loretta Lynn and Dolly Parton, and I could name 50 off the top of my head. And that's what she did. She handled all their money, but I grew up around people like Roger Miller, like I said yesterday when I went live, who would give me these little tidbits of wisdom about writing, about the music business, about writing songs. And I never put two and two. I'm 10, 11, 12 years old. And one of the guys that I met when I was younger was Eddie Miller, who founded the Nashville Songwriters Association International there in Nashville. And when I started writing for myself, and I thought, oh, I have this neat little gift I didn't know I had. I went to Nashville Songwriters Association. Of course, Eddie's been dead he passed away, 15, maybe more years ago. And I went to NSAI to sign up and become a member. And I was like, so, tell me the information. Like, well, what do I do? How do I sign up? And they said, well, first of all, it's like $500 a year. And I'm like, what? Why is it $500 a year to become a member? I thought that was I'm like, just starting out, I can't afford that. What does that get you? Well, it gets you membership. I'm like, if Eddie were still here, I realize they have a brick and mortar building and it's beautiful. And it's where Alabama used to record because I worked right there on Music Row right across the street from where they are. And they have rent to pay. I get that. But $500 a year for membership, and that just gets you membership. I'm like, okay, you can come and use one of our rooms like to write in and I'm like, I write at home. I don't need to come. I don't know. I thought, you know what? I want to do something like this, have an association, an organization, and have, but I want the membership to be free, And so I was talking to my mom about it. This is before she passed, and she said, "Go for it. You know what? Create something, do it from home, make it free for these people. Don't charge them." And I think if Eddie were here, he would say, "Go for it." And Nashville is just Nashville Songwriters. Make it international. You have the internet now. So that was my dream. That's what I did from day one. And it just started out as a Facebook group. I'm like, I'm going to do it on Facebook. And then boom. And what you see now is what it grew into over, 16. We're almost up to 20,000 members now. So, and we have chapters everywhere, basically worldwide reps. We got them in Germany and London and Pakistan, Uganda, wherever. But that was what I wanted to do, was create something, and not to make like Eddie proud of me or whatever. I just wanted to create a voice for us and not charge people $500 a month to, to be affiliated with something that I was like, I can't afford that. You guys can't afford that, especially when you're starting out, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of my dream.
Yeah, that's incredible. And it's really resonating too. I think that, especially with independent musicians, we don't have major label backing. We have to pay for the production and all of our promotion and everything. And trying to find places to be a part of, organizations to be a part of, when you find things like that and you see you're getting charged quite a lot for just starting out, considering all the other things we have to pay for, it can be a little discouraging and almost too like a little bit of a barrier, because the artists who could afford that, they're fine, but for ones who can't, that's almost like creating a divide, when I feel like the independent artist community should be inclusive. And so I think, when I first discovered ISSA and saw there was free membership and joined the Facebook group and saw how supportive, like, the community you've built is incredible. Like, it's so supportive. I've met incredible artists through there that I'm now friends with, and just seeing you have this dream to do something like this and literally change people's lives, give them opportunities, and just create a safe space and an inclusive space within the music industry is incredible.
Yeah, well, and we try to make it like educational too.
Yeah.
So like if you need to know how to meta tag your song to get it to radio stations, or you need to know how to copyright something, or like we have we have Music Row. I have contacts at Music Row attorneys if you need to look over something that like a legal matter, or we try to make it an educational type thing too. So because we've got some members that are just starting out and they're like, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to do that. Can you help me? Not only supportive but educational too, so that if you are just getting your feet wet and you don't know how to get your music to radio stations or how to tag them, or because you don't want to send your track to a radio station and it just says 01, it's not labeled correctly because they won't play it, things like that. How to get yourself more recognized out, because if you're not marketing yourself right, you won't get a fan base, period. It
Yeah.
just things like that. So we try to help the newbies, and we try to help the ones who are actually already well established to get out there. Like I said, the gold winners are being seen by a lot. There are people out there that watch what our gold winners do. They're like, oh, Sydney Irving, our 16-year-old gold winner from the year before last, just opened for Martina McBride. We're like, she, uh, our gold winner from last year just got signed with MC1 in Nashville. They saw her at our show. So yeah, there are people who are watching us too from the major professional rights organizations as well. So yay, yay there. So we're making some headway, which we're super proud of that. And yeah, I'm like, I'm doing cartwheels over here, man.
Yeah, I would be too. It's incredible. I love how you're so open to the educational side as well, because with the music industry, there's so much information out there, and sometimes you don't really know who to go to, who to trust, because it's just there's so much information. It's so oversaturated sometimes. So creating that space as well for artists to come with for questions and know that they're being supported in any area.
You can feel bombarded sometimes too. There can be a lot thrown at you. And congratulations to
Thank
you.
you.
You got nominated, and then you got all those votes. Woo, Demi rocked the votes this year. And you're finalist in how many categories?
5.
Five. I was gonna say four, but now you got five. Holy moly! And is this your first one
Yeah, it is.
to come at it with five? I mean, usually when some of our nominees come to their first award show, you're lucky to get two. So to come at it strong in five categories is amazing. That's incredible.
Thank
That is
you.
really good. Yeah. So, and I was listening to some of your music, girl, and you got chops.
Thank
You
you so much.
got chops. You definitely have a gift.
Thank you. I'm still literally in shock, but that's a perfect transition into the award show. So, when you started the organization, was the awards initially part of that, or is that something that came later?
When I started it, I had the concept for the awards because I wanted that to be part of I wanted that to be a level of recognizing your talents. So I knew that from the first year, I started this in 2017, and we had our first show in 2019. So I wanted it to be, a platform for all of you guys to, once we had enough members, to watch you shine. I wanted it to be huge. And when our member Justin Ray Williams, who is head of the South Carolina Entertainment Hall of Fame, when he got us on Roku, I'm like, you know what? That just took us to a whole nother level, because then, our shows on Roku, your acknowledgement of, performers are on Roku, you walk up to the stage, get your award on Roku, that goes worldwide. So, yeah, it just boom. So, like this year, if they call out Demi Michelle for, something of the year, and your name gets splashed, huge on a 70-foot projection screen, and you walk up to the podium and you get to say your acceptance speech and all that, and you're on video on ISSA TV on Roku for the whole world to see. It's not just, you're at an award show, you got to walk the red carpet, and you got to be interviewed by Music Media TV, which is, a local whatever, and a celebrity whatever here in Atlanta. But no, you actually get to walk on stage. They're going to videotape, and then it goes on ISSA TV on Roku, which is broadcast to the world. The whole world's going to see your win. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
So
incredible.
it's a big deal. It's a
Yeah,
big deal,
yeah,
and
for
it's
sure.
broadcast to 89 countries all over the world. So yeah, the idea for behind the award show was to multiply our efforts in getting the word out that you guys are talented. You're not just, we're not just giving out crystals to just anybody.
Mhm.
We're actually devoted to making sure you shine, and you shine big.
Yeah.
So, and we don't just give them to anybody who, comes to the show. No, they are picky. And so the last 2 years gold winners who worked really hard to get them are the ones that are going to make sure that you guys work as hard as they did to earn them. See what I'm saying? They're
Yeah.
really picky. They're really picky. So yeah, they are they hand them off to the newbies, and that's kind of cool because we don't the same people don't win every year. When you look at the Grammys and the CMAs and all that, and Taylor Swift, God bless her, yeah, she's a hard worker, but she gets like 42 Grammys. The same people win every year. It's like, okay, at some point it gets kind of boring. Same people win every year. Okay, that's fine. No, but we rotate them out so that the same people don't win every year. You know, they get to hand it off and select the next year's winners. So kind of makes it interesting, and
Yeah.
they like doing that. They like picking the next year's winners. They're like makes it feel important to being able to judge. So like if you won a gold level this year, the next 2 years you'd get to judge. You get in free for the next couple of years, but you'd also judge for 2 years. You'd have to sit it out for the next couple of years and judge.
That was one of the coolest things that I saw when I first took a look at the award show. Not only how the gold winners, they give others a chance to win by not participating in cheers, but they get to judge and perform and do a lot of other cool things. But I think what's really awesome is how you do silver and bronze as well. And you acknowledge three winners in the majority of the categories. So, what inspired that decision? Because that's super unique.
The Olympics, and they do that in the Olympics. So I'm like, why not?
Perfect. That's so good.
Yeah,
That didn't even cross my mind.
yeah, the Olympics does it. I'm like, there you go.
So good. So good.
We have more winners that way. I like to make sure we have more winners that way. There's more happy people, right?
Right. Absolutely.
There's more happy people. I like making everybody happy. I don't want anybody unhappy. I went to an award show one year, and it was like there were 80 people in my category and one winner. That means there were 79 people that weren't happy.
Yeah.
I don't like I don't like that. Like, I don't like that. I don't like having 79 unhappy people. I'm like, dang, there's one winner and 80 people in a category. I'm like, nah. No, I'd rather have 30 people and 3 people in the winner. Yeah, you got more chances. Like, yeah. That's just me. I'm just a happy camper all the way around. My kids used to say, Mom, do you always have like these little pep rallies going on inside your head all the time? I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
I also love the way that you do the choices for the finalists as well. So it's like fan voted once you're nominated, and then the panel of the gold winners decide for the awards. I really think that's interesting as well. How you have the nominations, but in order to actually be a finalist at the awards, you need to get those votes.
Yeah, and one of the things we are really picky about is in order to nominate yourself, you have to be qualified. You have to have your own website. You can't just have a Facebook page or a SoundCloud page or a Reverb Nation page. No, you have to have your own website, and you have to have at least 5 songs available for distribution on Spotify and iTunes. Meaning, you have to have legitimately written and produced and distributed 5 songs. So there are some criteria that need to be met before you get to the level of nomination. You know what I mean? You got to be serious about your music before you even get nominated. And then you have to have legitimate fans. So, every now and then we'll get a couple of people that have like they'll gripe or complain. Well, my fans are just my family. I'm like, well, then you're not serious about your music, and we're not gonna go there because you're not serious about it. Sorry that you're not meant for our award show.
I love how you require the website though, because there's so many times, especially just like from hosting this show, when I'm trying to learn more about somebody, like I don't want to have to scroll through your Twitter or your Facebook to learn about you. I feel like the number one thing, even before you start releasing music, before I even dropped my debut single, I had a base of a website to build off
Yeah,
of.
you have to. You have to. Because if there's a talent scout at BMI or ASCAP or MC1 Records or whatever, they don't want to have to hunt you down.
No.
They need to Google you and you be number one in the search bar, period. If they have to hunt you down, they're not going to look for you. You need to make it easy for them to find you. So like yesterday, I posted in our Facebook group. I'm like, all right, people, put your Spotify links in this comment. Post it. I had to turn the spam thingy off, but I'm like, post your Spotify links here because the judges are going to want to hear your music, and if they can't find your music, guess what? They're not going to hunt for your music. If they can't find your music to hear you, to listen to your music, they're not going to vote for you.
Yeah.
So, and if they haven't met you yet or they don't know anything about you or your music and they don't know, they're gonna vote for the people that they know, they've listened to, they've hung out with, that kind of thing. So familiarize yourself with these gold winners from the last couple years. Get to know them, and that's always a plus, especially when you come to the show and you rub elbows with them. Come to the show and rub elbows with them. You know,
Yeah.
just come hang out with them. But and it's the same in the music industry. Period. A lot of it is being around them, hanging out with them, and that's the music business. That's any business, really, when you
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah. Networking.
Networking. It's all about networking. Absolutely. So, yeah, it's any business. It's real estate, but I'm a realtor. It's you got to hand out your business cards. You got to, and people are like, well, I'm a brand new songwriter, and I'm like, are you in a band? Yeah, I'm in a band. Do you have business cards? Well, no. All right, first thing you need to do is get you some business cards. When your band plays out, you hand those out to everybody you know because you need organic fans. You need to have your business website, have your personal business website. It's still all about marketing, just like I have real estate business cards, I have personal business cards, I have band business cards. You have a business card for everything you do. And everywhere you go, you hand them out like playing cards. Everywhere you go. Here's my real estate card. Here's my band card. Here's my personal music business card. Here's I'm always handing out cards you know, like they're playing cards, like boom, boom, boom.
That's
Which
so
one you want?
funny.
Which one you want?
I mean, you never know who you're going to come in contact with, you know?
Absolutely. I met the sweetest little kid. I'll just make this short because I have to tell you this one's so cute. I was getting the oil changed in my car at the car dealership, and this sweet lady, we're just sitting in the lobby. You know how they make you wait in the lobby, and this sweet lady was sitting there with her son, and he was probably, I don't know, 15 years old, and he was just kind of moving, um, kind of moving gently, just kind of quietly to himself. And I looked at the lady. She's like, "Yeah, he's autistic," but he was very sweet and very smart. And he just started talking a little bit, and he was talking about how much he liked music, and that he needed. She's like, "Yeah, he needs something to do, like." With music and blah blah blah, and to make a long story short, I said, is he good with computers? And she's like, oh yeah. And I said, does he likes drums, he has the drum set kit. And I said, does he have like an audio network, an audio interface? And he's like, no. I said, oh, so I talked her into getting like an audio box, like that
Yeah.
he could plug in his computer and see the music and record it and all that. And so I pulled up his phone, I told him what to buy, and I told him what it did. I said, you can actually see the notes on your computer and watch them while you play the drums. And so he went and bought it, and his mom called me like a few weeks later, and she said, "Oh my God, it has changed this little kid's life. Now he's making music with his computer." This little autistic kid, and I was like, things like that, absolutely love to be able to share. It just changed this little kid's life. Now he's making music when he wasn't before, just with his drums. He's making drum tracks, and he didn't know he could do that.
I have chills. Such a beautiful story.
Absolutely love that. He didn't know he could do that. I'm like, this way you can play your drums all day, but this way you can see your drums on your laptop. You can see each beat that you make and watch the note like little sound waves on your computer. He didn't know he could do that. And I'm like, there was a time that I didn't know I could do that until somebody showed me. You can actually look at it on the screen. And he's like, really? Yeah, yeah, you can look at it. You can actually copy and paste and cut them and put them together and everything. He's like, wow. So I'm like, somebody showed me how to do that. A sound engineer. My own son showed me how to do that. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then I sent him some YouTube links to show him how to, edit music. And he's just like, oh, he's 15, but he's just learning, and he's so smart. Even at 15, he's just like a little bit of a savant. And I'm like, oh, he's loving it. And I'm like, yay. I love stuff like that. Love it.
That's perfect. Yeah, no, I love that so much. I think too, it's like music is so powerful, it brings people together. And I think being someone like you and so many special people in the industry and just lovers of music who are going out of their way to help others and create a safe space and just be there for other people. And I think that's something ISSA does too, is like, yes, it's an award show, but I'm the last one looking at this as a competition. It's a celebration of music. We're all here to support each other. We're all here to help each other, answer each other's questions, lift each other up. And when you go in with that mentality, you're going to an award show and you're experiencing everything else that you put together through the organization as a group, supporting each other. And I think that's what everybody needs to remember here.
Yeah. It's a big party. A big party. And boy, do I love parties. My daughter is a wedding planner. She's been a wedding planner for 10 years. She gets her organizational skills from me. So we love planning parties. Love it, love it, love it. But yeah, she loves it too. She's like, oh boy, mom's gonna throw parties up there. So far so good. But yeah, I like seeing everybody happy too.
Yeah, that's really important. So before we go, just share a little bit about this year's awards. Where is it taking place? When is it? What can people expect?
Oh, it's taking place at the Sandy Springs Performing Arts Center, which is where we held last year. It's also the home of the BMI Awards. And we actually have some BMI executives that are going to be there this year. So watching you all shine. It's here in Atlanta, Georgia. Our red carpet starts at noon and goes to 2, and then the show is from 2 to 5. And then we have a pre-party at Wild Wing Cafe in Alpharetta, which is about 15 minutes away the night before, from like 5 till, I don't know, whenever. We have 5 bands performing. And then we have an after party right after the show. We kind of mosey on over that way after the show and play, 5, 6 till whenever we leave at the same place, Wild Wing Cafe in Alpharetta. And again, that one's more, we don't have 5 bands playing. We have more solo acts and more casual type atmosphere. They're just going to, each one is going to play just a few songs. We actually have members coming from 37 countries this year. Last year, they were coming from, I think, 27 or 28. But this year, we have a lot more people traveling from international countries than we did last year because I think they were coming off COVID. So this year we are a lot more international people. That, as far as New Zealand, Australia, Malawi, it's it's an extensive international list this year. So it should be interesting.
I'm so excited, and you just lifted the biggest weight off my shoulders. When I saw noon, I thought that the awards started at noon and the red carpet was before, and I'm not a morning person. I'm like, I've got to get up at like 6 in the morning to get ready.
No, 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 no. Red carpet's from noon to 2. Nah, I'm not a morning person either. And then the show's from like 2 to 5. Where it's a 3-hour show. I went
Perfect.
to the Grammys one year, and Jim and I, we left because it's like it goes on all day into the night. It's like 10, 12 hours. I'm like, I do not want to sit there for that long.
Perfect. Well, just to wrap things up before we go, what is some advice that you would love to share with any songwriters who are just getting started or maybe hesitant to take the next step in their journey?
If I had to give them one bit of advice, it would be not to ever stop doing it. Just if you have a day where you think you don't have the creative moment, people get stuck. You know how you think you have writer's block or whatever, and you just give it. Don't do that because it's if you have it, it's always there. That's why I always end when I say my little things that I do on Facebook. I always say keep writing, keep playing, keep singing. Don't stop because it's always there. You always have it in you, and I think if you stop, you might get stuck there. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it because you'll always have it with you. Always.
Perfect. So, so inspiring. Thank you so much for joining me on this show. Can you please share with everyone where they can learn more about ISSA online and the award show?
ISSA Songwriters.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much again for joining me. Listeners, I hope you enjoyed this incredible chat with Tamanie Dove. And of course, until next time,
Stay right on track.